Let us discuss about G protein coupled receptors. As the name itself indicates, these are receptors like any other receptors. These are also receptors. These receptors are proteins, right? These receptors, they are proteins, and these receptors are arranged on membrane, on cell membrane, right? Where are they present? They are present on the cell membrane. Suppose this is cell, these are present over the cell membrane, right? Let's understand the structure of these G protein coupled receptors. As I told you, this is a protein, right? So protein in the sense it consists of amino acids, right? Let's understand the structure. Suppose this is G protein coupled receptor. This is how it looks, right? This is the structure of G protein coupled receptor. Let's see here. Let's understand the number of loops it has. It has almost 7 helicals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 helicals. 7 helicals. Let's zoom it. Let's zoom it. See, it has got 7 helicals, right? 7 helicals. And see here it has got intervening segments, right? This is one intervening structure segment. This is intervening segment. This is intervening segment. This is intervening segment, right? See, these are helicals. Suppose let's understand again. This is one more G protein coupled receptors. It has got 7 helicals, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? These are 7 helicals. These segments, these helicals are connected, right? Each other, right? This is one intersegment. This is one intersegment. This is one intersegment. This is one intervening segment. This is one intervening segment. Let's see how many intervening segments are there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Almost 3 on outside, 3 on inside, right? So 6 intervening segments, right? Intervening segments, right? So how many helicals we have? You have 7 helicals, alpha helicals, 6 intervening segments, right? 3 inside and 3 outside, right? This is the structure. Now this receptor, let's draw one more diagram. Now you understood the structure, right? Now understand the mechanism of action of this receptor. So this is G protein receptor, coupled receptor. G protein coupled receptor. Coupled receptor. G protein coupled receptor will be attached inside by a G protein, right? By a G protein, right? This G protein, it has got 3 structures. Has got alpha subunit, beta subunit, gamma subunit, right? And it also got, right? It has got alpha subunit, beta subunit, gamma subunit, right? Let's revise once again. This is gamma G protein coupled receptor. This protein is this receptor is attached with G protein. This G protein has got 3 subunits: alpha subunit, beta subunit, and gamma subunit, right? See, this G protein, it has got 2 states: active states and inactive state. Active state and inactive state. Clear? When it is inactive state, it is attached with GDP, right? When it is active, it is attached with ATP. Okay, so when it is active, it is attached with ATP. When it is inactive, it is coupled with GDP. Clear? Now, so inactive state will convert into active state, right? When inactive state is converted to active state, this alpha subunit will separate from this G protein. Okay, in active state, this alpha subunit will detach from the G protein, right? Now suppose it active state. Now alpha subunit will detach, right? And this detached alpha subunit will perform either of these three functions. Let's see what are these functions, right? Detached alpha subunit will perform any of the three things. One is it may activate or inactivate enzyme adenyl cyclase. Activate or inactivate which enzyme? Adenyl cyclase, right? And the second thing it can do is it can activate phospholipase C enzyme. Phospholipase C enzyme. Third thing it can do is it can stimulate or inhibit ion channels. It can stimulate or inactivate ion channels, right? So either of these things can be done by this detached alpha subunit. What is the consequence of activation or inactivation of this adenyl cyclase? The thing that happens after this activation or inactivation is there is change in the concentration of cyclic AMP. Okay, this activation or inactivation of adenyl cyclase can result in change in the concentration of cyclic AMP. What happens if phospholipase C enzyme is activated? It results in increase of calcium concentration inside the cell, right? And this is about G protein coupled receptors. Let's revise the things that we have learned so far, right? Now, as I told you, G protein receptors are the receptors like any other receptors, right? It has got 7 helical structures and 6 intervening segments, 3 inside, 3 outside, right? This receptor is attached with G protein inside the cell, right? And this G protein has got 3 subunits: alpha subunit, beta subunit, and gamma subunits. And when this G protein has got 2 states: active states and inactive state. In inactive state it is coupled with GDP, whereas in active state it is coupled with ATP. When it is active, alpha unit will separate from the G protein and can do either of the 3 things. Let's see what are these things. It can activate or inactivate adenyl cyclase, and that results in increase or decrease cyclic AMP concentration inside the cell. Second one is it can activate phospholipase C enzyme, and it results in increase in calcium concentration. And third thing is it can stimulate or inhibit ion channels. Okay, this is about G protein coupled receptors. Thank you for watching.